Al Kadosh, Boker Tov, Masechet Ketubot Daf Amud Aleph 12a1. Amar Rabba. First word on the line. Rabba says, Zotomeret. This means to say, Kenasa becheska betula. If a person gets married to a woman with a chazakah that she's a betula, meaning said beula and then she was found to be a beula, yeshla ketubah mana. So it comes out that she has a ketubah as a maneh, which means she gets 100. And not like we said before that she gets nothing because it was a mekach ta'ut. But he doesn't make her lose it completely. So says the Gemara, no. Ravashi says, really, be'emet, no, it was like we said before. What did we say before? She gets nada. She gets wallow, nothing. Zil, milch, what? Nothing. Why? Because we already said it was a mekach ta'ut. But here it was different. Because the first person already got married to her, and therefore she's not a cheskah betula anymore. If you remember, what do we say the case was? The case was that she got married, and then all of a sudden in the wedding, the guy dropped dead. You remember we spoke about the different cases yesterday, about how all of a sudden in the wedding, whatever it is, the guy dropped dead or whatever it was. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, so that's what happened. Okay?
Wow. I never take chances.
Exactly, never take chances. You're right, 100%. So says the Gemara, "V'neichu shema tachtav zinta." Says 1 second. If you're going to tell me right now that she was not a betula, but 1 second, she got married to the first guy. We know that she had no relations with the first guy because either they didn't have the yichud or they had the yichud but it wasn't enough time or all the different things. So fine, but then why don't we just suspect that maybe she had relations under him, which means that she went and she committed adultery right underneath him. Yeah. So says the Gemara, right? What happened? He comes and he says, no. Why? He says, what happened was he had kiddushin, and immediately afterwards, after the kiddushin, right, he had the relations. So we're not going to suspect that during the time from kiddushin till nisuin, she actually cheated on him because there was no time. Immediately he went, and this is what happened. Some people actually learned it on the mitnitin. Some people actually learned it that the words of Rabbi and Ravashi and Rishavia were not on the Braita, they were on the Mishnah. The Mishnah spoke about a case of a betula, which she's also an amana grusha v'chalutza min nisuin, which means again, if she's a betula min irusin, that's pashut, but betula from the nisuin or an almana grusha, but she's still a betula. In all those cases, right? What? It's ketubata mana and elaim tana betulim. Betula min nisuin. How could you find it? She went to the chuppah, but there was no relations. Amar Rabba. Yeah, and then all of a sudden he died. Like the case said. So one more time. So really, Be'emet, what we're trying to say is that this actually happened in the chuppah, which means Amar Rabba. Now, again, one more time, we're bringing down the exact same thing that we just said with Rabba, Rav Ashi, and Rav Shravya. Now we're going back and we're placing it back. We're plugging it back into the Mishnah and not in the Braita. One more time. We had a Mishnah. Then we had the Braita. Then we had Rabba, Rav Ashi, and Rav Shravya. Now now we're plugging it back into the Mishnah. The Mishnah just said that a betula that she's alamana grusha v'chalutza min nisuin ketubah tamaneh ve'en lahem tana damim betula min nisuin. We asked how does that happen? So the Gemara answered shenichnesa lechuppah v'lo nivala. Amar Rabba says zot omeret shekansa b'chazaka betula v'nisa beula ketubah manah. Therefore you see that if a woman gets married b'cheskat betula and she's found to be a beula ketubah tamanah, it's not a mekach ta'ut. Rabbi said, no, really, I'm going to tell you that she doesn't have anything, right? Why? It's different over here. She already went to the chuppah. The second that she went into the chuppah, there's not a chazakah betula gemura anymore. Because at the end of the day, she did go into the chuppah. Maybe in the cheder yichud, maybe something happened there very quick or whatever it is. So therefore, that's it. Why don't we suspect that she had znut under him, which means that she already committed adultery underneath him? So Rav Shravi answered, no, there was kiddushin and then there was bi'al altar. Okay, fine. So Mande Matnila Braita, the one that taught this on the Braita, Kol Shekena Matniti, all the more so on the Mishnah, that it goes that there was no edim that she was a betula from the beginning, but it was just a chazakah, right? Because it was kansa b'cheska betula. So then Kol Shekena works on that. But according to the one that says that teaches that on the Mishnah, right? Maybe Braita Mishum Dematza, we don't say that. Why? Because we are being sumech on the edim that really be'emet you didn't have relations, and that's why he got married to her. So now he could say, listen, there were a din, right? One more time, there were a din that there was no yichud, right? Or there were a din that there was yichud, but there wasn't enough time to have relations. So therefore, the fact that there were a din, he could come and he could say, I was somech on the din that you were still a betula. And the fact that you're not a betula, so therefore that's why you lose everything. So therefore, the one that taught it on the Mishnah, on the Braita, maybe it's not halacha like that, but if you taught it on the Braita, on the Braita, kol sheken on the Mishnah. Says the next Mishnah. האוכל אצל החמיב ביהודה שלא בעדים אינו יכול לטעון טענת בתולים מפני שמתייחד עמה. This is a Mishnah מפורשת, which we're going to have to understand in the Gemara why and everything what's going on. But basically, it says, the halacha says like this: if you ate by your father-in-law in Yehuda, okay, now this is during the time of the Erusin, meaning the Kiddushin, and it was without witnesses, which means there were no witnesses there to make sure that there was no Yehud. So what happens? You cannot be Tuen Ta'anat Betulim. Why? Because at the end of the day, they used to have Yehud. And the fact that they used to have Yehud, it could be that he himself already had relations with her. Now, if he has relations with her, he can't do any more Ta'anat Betulim. Why? Because maybe it was he himself.
But there was
right?
a time.
Beulat Atzmo. That's what we spoke about Beulat Atzmo. Yes. Miditani Ha'ochel, from the fact that it's written Ha'ochel Etzel Chamib Yehuda, Miklal Di Kadukta Yehuda. I mean, so it's mashma. But there are some places that they don't eat with the father-in-law. Meaning it all depends. Sometimes you'll eat by the father-in-law, and sometimes you won't. It all depends on the minhag. So Rabbi says, Shema Minah Yehuda Nami Mekomot Yesh. So you see that even in Yehuda, there were different minhagim. Meaning it wasn't across the board minhag over all of the area of Yehuda. Remember, Yehuda was an area in Israel. It's like the Judea, right? There was Yehuda, there was the Galil, right? So therefore, right, it was an entire area. So therefore, it wasn't like a blanket statement in the entire area that this is the way it was. There was different halachot, different minhagim. Okay, the Tanyas we learned in a Braita. Amar Rabbi Yehuda says, "Yehuda b'rishonim yuchadim etachatav etachala shachar kol nisatan lechupa kedei sheyeh libo gaspa." Do you know that in Yehuda they used to make them have yichud one moment before the chuppah? In order what? Sheyeh libo gaspa. What does that mean? So therefore, it says over here that they shouldn't be mitbayesh because of bilah mitzvah afterwards. Okay, so the meaning says that kodem knisan lechuppah was lav davka, right? Samuch lechuppah. אלא היו מתייחדים קודם כניסתם לחופה, הן בימים הסמוכים לנושאים ובימים הסמוכים לחופה. So it's mashma over here that the mamash they used to do it a yichud in order that afterwards, when they're actually going to do the mitzvah, she wouldn't be embarrassed anymore. So they used to have a type of yichud right before in order. What?
What would they do?
But in the Galil they wouldn't do that. ביהודה בראשונה הם מעמידים להם ששלוש מינים. At the beginning in Yehuda, they used to have the shushbenim, right? They have to do the two shushbenim, one for him and one for her. In order for what? In order to check that they're not going to come and they're not going to do something. What does that mean? Maybe the chatan is going to bring in an extra white cloth, and then he's going to do a quick switch. Or maybe the kala is going to bring in the one of the ketchup you talk about, yeah? Right? She's going to bring it in, right, beforehand. And then she's going to do the switch. So therefore, we had the two shushbinim making sure that there was no monkey business going on. Yeah, there wasn't any, you understand? In Galil, they wouldn't do that. At the beginning, the shushbinim used to sleep in that house where the chatan and kala were, in order that they should have the tanim betulim immediately. In Galil, they wouldn't do that. But anybody that did not do that, they cannot do tanim betulim. So says the Gemara, what does that mean? That anybody that didn't do this minhag, they can't do ta'ana betulim. What case are we talking about? If you're talking about ilema reisha, if you're going to tell me on the reisha, then we're talking about that in Yehuda they used to have yichud. So kol shenahag mi baile. So the opposite. Anybody that had this minhag, so he cannot be tuen ta'ana betulim because maybe he already had betulim with her. So he cannot do this. You understand? So he says ela seifa, but rather it's going on the seifa. So kol shalom mushmash mi baile. If you're talking about in the seifa, so then you have to say that anybody that they didn't check them out, they cannot be Toen Tana Betulim. Because maybe they did a fast one. They pulled a fast one, and all of a sudden they switched the cloths, and all of a sudden they come and they say that she wasn't a Betula, right? Or she was a Betula, or they start playing around. So Rabbi says, no, you're right. The Olama Reisha, we're going on the Reisha. Utani, and you had to learn Kol Shenahag, meaning if they had Yichud, so then you can't be Toen Tana Betulim anymore. So Amaleh Rava says, "V'ha kol shelo nahag." It's written the exact opposite words there. Rava, but rather Rava said, "Achi kama kol shelo nahag minhag galil bagalil." אלא מנהג יהודה בגליל, אינו יכול, no. If you didn't do the minhag of Galil in Galil, but you did the minhag of Yehuda in Galil, which means you like the minhag in Yehuda, and you brought it over to Galil, so all of a sudden you started having yichud with her before the wedding. So then you cannot be Tuen Tana Betuli. Okay, and Ravashi comes in these answers. The Lama Seifa, really we're going on the Seifa. The Tani called Shalom Mushmash. And you're right, and there it's written in the Seifa as long as they didn't check them out beforehand. Meaning if they didn't check out to make sure that there's no monkey business going around, you can be Tuen Tana Betulim, but maybe we're going to suspect that the guy did something or she did something or that. So then it's very difficult to know what exactly happened.
Because the most important here.
Achat almanat Yisrael ve'achat almanat kohanim. Doesn't matter whether she's an almanat, that she's a bat Yisrael or an almanat from bat Kohen. Ketubah tamana. She always has ketubah of 100. Okay. Bedin shel kohanim ayu govin lebetula 400 zuz. Velo michu biadam chachamim. Do you know that the bedin of kohanim, because they were kohanim, they wanted that it's more money. So they used to collect for a betula of a bat Kohen 400 zuz, not a betula bat Yisrael, which was 200. Meaning normal betulot are 200. But here they purposely went and they used to collect 400 for a bat Kohen. Bat Kohen is not such a, right, it's a higher level. No, much higher level. Bat Kohen doesn't give anything. Now we learned the almanat kohanim ketubatam at a time. So just like betulat Kohen would be 400 zuz, so almanat Kohen would be 200. He says, 1 second, I thought we learned mefurash in the Mishnah. It doesn't matter about almanat Yisrael, almanat Kohanim, it's always going to be 100. Meaning the only difference was betulat Kohen, but not almanat Kohen. So Ravashi says, there were 2 takanot. The beginning they made that for a betulat Kohen would be 400 zuz, and for an almanah it would be 100 zuz. Once they saw that they were mezalzelim be'almanot keonim, because they were kalot benen to take them out with a get, right? So takinu lehem matan. So then they gave them a ketubah of 200. Right? They went. So it was 2 different takanot basically. The first takanah was only for the betulah, but then afterwards it was also for an almanah. So it says here, mipnei shekohanim chashuvim yoter vegirushe benotein ugnai lahem yoter miYisrael. אתה שומע את המילים האלה? You're listening. Meaning that since Kohanim are more important, they're more hierarchy, so therefore the Girushin of their daughters is worse. So because of that, they made a special institution to protect the daughters of Kohanim. So therefore, even Bat Kohen, a Betula, 400 zuz. Person would think twice before divorcing a Bat Kohen. And the Almanah, at the beginning it was only Manah, but then afterwards the second Takana was 200 zuz also, that they wouldn't get divorced as well. Okay? So given the Vichazu, the Mezalzel would take it on Matan. Given the Chazu, the Kampashmin, but 1 second. Once it became 200, nobody wanted to get married to an almanat Kohen. Because why in the world would you get married to an almanat Kohen? You might as well get married to a regular betula. So the Amri, Ad Nesin almanat Kohanim, there's a Nesin betula bat Yisrael, right? We might as well get married to a regular bat Yisrael. Saying if it's the same price, right? So you might as well get married to a betulat Yisrael. But fine. Yeah, but she's almanah also. Yeah, so he says Adrin lemintayu. So you're right. He brought it back to the original takana of 100. Okay. Fine. Yes, yes. Gemara. We're on the 2 dots where it says betin of Kohanim. They used to charge 400 for a betulat Kohen. It wasn't only a betin of Kohanim. Also, any type of families which were not Kohanim, but they were very hierarchy families. They could do whatever just like the Kohanim. Meaning, let's say you have a certain family that they have a lot of yichus, and they come and they say, "You want to get married to us? No problem. 400 zuz." 400 zuz for a betula. They're allowed to do that. So Meitvei, so we're going to ask the following question. Anybody that wants to do that, like just like the Kohanim do, who the katzad kiuna, but there's a kiuna here. But if it's going to be bat Yisrael to Yisrael, no. So says the Gemara, lo mi bae kama. No, it's not. You don't need to say it. Lo mi bae bat Yisrael Yisrael. Not only in a case of bat Yisrael Yisrael. That he can't tell her right, that the husband can't say I'm going to bring you up to more mechubad, right? Right, that the husband could come, right, the Kohen could come and tell his wife, right, I'm also from a hierarchy family. Elmaleh, you could say no. So Mashmalan comes teach you the Braita that even in a bat Yisrael to a Kohen, they could also collect also the 400 Jews, meaning that mishpachot miyuchasot, even though he's a Kohen, so he's going to tell her, I'm bringing you up. No, still, if she wants, they could come and they could obligate 400 Jews because they're mishpachot miyuchasot. Says the Mishnah, Hanose et ha'isha velo matza la betulim. Yeah, it says over here, yeah, Hanose et ha'isha, somebody that gets married. Velo matza la betulim, and you couldn't find betulim. He omer mishirasani nenesti. So she comes and she says that once she was engaged, she was violated. Then he stopped chasadeu, and right, he stopped chasadeu. Vehu omer, and he says, lo, ki ela ad shelo yidastich vayam yichi mekach taut. Says no, it was when she was engaged, and it was a mekach taut, right? Which means that basically it was going to be that. Allah yidastich means before the engagement, right? So basically, she's saying that she was violated once she was engaged, and he's saying no, this was before engagement. So Rabbi said that she's believed. Rabbi Yoshua says, "Lo mipi ani chayim." We're not living on her words, meaning we're not going to rely upon her. But the opposite, she was a beula, and she tricked him. So she has to come and she has to bring the proof to her words. So it's actually going to be a machloka between Rabbi Yoshua, right, and Rabbi Eliezer. Okay. So says the Gemara, Itmar, it was stated, Manali biyadcha ve'ala omereni yodea. Imagine I come to you and I say, you owe me $100. Yeah, you owe me $100. And the other one says, and yodea, I don't know. Yeah, you owe me $100. So I don't know. Oh, you see, I don't know. So what happens? Right? Rav Yehuda, Rav Huna Amri, chayav. Yeah. Rav Yehuda, Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda say, chayav. Rabbi Yochanan, Rav Nachman, Rabbi Yochanan, patur. They say it's going to be patur. So now the Gemara is going to explain the machloka between them. Rav Huna, Rav Yehuda, chayav. Why does Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda say chayav? Bari v'shema, bari adif. I'm bari. I'm uncertain. I come and I tell you, you owe me $100. You don't know. You say, I don't know. You're a shema. Bari v'shema, bari adif. It's a good svara, no? If I'm a certain, shema's maybe. Right? Shema, mitachon, right? All over kavod, Shema. Right? So Shema is maybe. So once again, if I'm for sure, I'm a certain, you're maybe. So bari v'shema, bari adif. Rav Nachman, Rabbi Yochanan, Amni patur, Rabbi Yochanan say patur, uki mamona becheskat mare. We put the money in the chazakah of the master. Meaning, who has the money right now? You have the money. I'm trying to take away the money from you. So therefore, you have a chazakah of mare kama, of the mare. You are the master of the money. So if I want to take it out from you, I cannot come and do the bari v'shema bari adif because you have a chazakah, it's yours. So I need to bring a better proof in order to take it out from you. Okay? So now the Gemara says, Amar le'abai Rav Yosef, says the Rav Yosef, Had Rav Huna Rav Yehuda l'Shmuel, this halacha of Rav Huna Rav Yehuda, that they said that Bemet is going to be chayav l'Shmuel. Tanam is learned in a Mishnah. Imagine right now a woman that she was a pnuya, and she's a meuberet. She's pregnant. Yeah? So he comes and he says, yeah, ve'amrula, and they said, mativo shelubar zeh. So they come and they say, no, what is this child? She's not married. She's not married, and she's pregnant. Right? Yeah, exactly. Now we're going to ask her, no, what's this child? So mi'ish ploni ve'kohen. So he's going to say it's from this person, and he's a kohen. Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Eliezer say, ne'emenet. She's going to be believed. The Amar Rav Yehuda Shmuel says Rav Yehuda and Shmuel, halakha Rav Gamliel, the halakha Rav Gamliel. The Amar Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda Rav Yehuda, so says Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda to Rav Yehuda, shinena. You know what shinena means? Sharp one. Yeah. Amartla mishme de Shmuel, halakha Rav Gamliel afarishona. You went and you told us that the halakha is like Rav Gamliel, even in the first case, meaning not only the Mishnah of Haitamu Beret, right, but also another case as well. So it comes that the Machlok of Gamliel and Yeshua was also in the first one, right? Which is to do with the Ketubah. There's two different cases. One more time. You had Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yoshua in two different cases. You had Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Eliezer against, right? Against what we're going to see now to do with what we said, to do with the case of that she's pregnant. And in the case where she's saying that she was violated during the engagement period. Okay, so both times, one more time. Rabbi Gamliel in our Mishnah was a violation during the engagement. Rabbi Gamliel says she's believed. Rabbi Yoshua says, what are you talking about? You think we're going to believe her? She was for sure a beula. She loses her ketubah. She has to bring the proof. The second case was she's pregnant. We don't know what it is. She says, no, it's a Kohen. The child is a Kohen. Rabbi Gamliel says she's believed. Rabbi Yehuda says the name of Shmuel. The halakha and it says of Shmuel Yehuda. You told us that the halakha, this and the halakha like Shmuel. That also in the first case. What does it mean also Barishona? Even though we're going to come and say put the money in the chazakah of the first one. So Amar Rabbi Gamliel says Bari adif. He says that since the woman is saying Bari, that she was violated after the engagement, so she's the Bari. He's the Shema. He doesn't know what went on. He's suspecting that she was, a Beula beforehand. She's saying for sure she was violated during the engagement. Okay? So Lema, so why don't we just say Rav Yehuda, Rav Huna, the Amnim Gamliel. Rav Yehuda, Rav Huna, they go like Rav Gamliel. Rav Nachman, Rav Yochanan go like Rav Yoshua. So says the Gemara, no. Amaleh Rav Nachman is going to tell you, Ana the Amni, I also could say even according to Rav Gamliel in our Mishnah, Anka lo kaman Gamliel hatam when Rav Gamliel said that she's going to be believed in the Mishnah. Eladika migu. You know what a migu is? Migu is believer when she says A, because she could have said B. What does that mean? She could have said a stronger, right? Migu is mali lishaker. Why would have I lied? I could have given you a stronger one. She could have said mukat etzani. What is mukatetz? Right? This is even good for a kohen, which means she could have said that she wasn't violated. She could have said she lost it with a piece of wood. She got hit, whatever it is. And that's why she lost it. So the fact that she didn't say that, and she said that she was violated, believe her. Because she could have just said a much better tana. She could have said a better lie. Aval hacha, but over here, what to do with Beri B'Shema, to do with somebody that comes and he says, you owe me 100 baht. My migu, what's the migu? There's no migu there. Inami, or if you want, you can answer another thing. Akan lo kaman Gamliel atam. When did Gamliel say that in the Mishnah? Ela daminu kimil chazakah, because there's a chazakah. What does it mean chazakah? We say that the woman has a chazakah that she was a betula, right? Because now we have a safek when everything happened. But put her on the chazakah. But to do with here, money libiyalcha ma chazakah. There's no chazakah. I come and I say you owe me 100 bucks. You say I don't know. There's no chazakot there. But here there's the chazakah that she was a betula until now. So and also we wanted to say that just like we answered, that Rav Nachman says like Gamliel, and he doesn't argue on it. Just like we explained above. Dimken, you give me Amud Aleph on the top. We're just going to go to the Mishnah. Dimken bezef so. You have a question from one halacha, psak halacha, to another psak halacha. Why? Rav Nachman was a big dayan. So since he was a big dayan, usually we always pass like Rav Nachman and dayanu, dinei mamonot. Right? Because he was a big dayan, so he passed like him. Right? So if so, the halacha is like him, the bari adif, which means that we're not going to take the money through his mouth. Right? What does that mean? Ubeha, Amar Shmuel, Gamliel says that, but Shmuel said the halacha is like Gamliel, right? To do with the money of the ketubah, tamishira starin yanasti. But rather, for sure, we have to say, just like that Rav Nachman says that it's not a stidat from Gamliel. And the reason Gamliel that she's going to be believed is not because it's bari v'shema bari adif, but rather because there's a migu or there's a chazakah. So because there's a migu or a chazakah, that's why. So in our Mishnah, we pass like Rav Gamliel because there's a migu. She could have said mukat etzani, and it's a better ta'ana. But to do with the next case, there was a chazakah. Since it was a chazakah, that's why we come and we believe them. So we're always going like Rav Nachman or like Rav Gamliel, but they don't argue on each other. Have a wonderful day.